as we talked about things and we percolated on things and all of the stuff of how can we help everybody normalize this whole cycle, because there is a cycle and it's a natural, healthy cycle. In our groups, we've seen so much mourning and grief over the breaks. And as a psychology brain nerd that I am, this is something that super interests me because breaks and all of these things are actually part of life. So if you think of life in general, you know, we're born, we live, we grow, we age, we die. Death is actually the inverse of life and birth, and it's all part of the thing. And the reason that we have so many emotions around this is because we place a certain judgment on it of death is bad or death is scary or whatever it is. And so if we translate that into nails, we idealize these beautiful, long, gorgeous nails, and we don't have proper vocabulary, verbiage, society, culture, whatever it is, to make the part of death as acceptable as part of life. So what we have here is the cycle, and we wanted to compare it to the seasons of life and a tree, just for analogy purposes, so that we can help to give everybody vocabulary, give everybody an image of what it looks like. So when we all start out with nubbin,
I gotta say, before you get started, thank you to all of the people the amazing Blissettes who jumped in and like threw pictures at you.
Thank you guys.
All the different versions of seasons so that we could put this together. And
yeah, we couldn't do this without you.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay, so if you think about the seasons, normal seasons in life, depending on where you are equatorially, in the end of winter, you're moving into spring, you have a little bit of grass, things are kind of growing, but the branches are still naked. So that's what we want to call nubbins zone. Like we've all had that of where there's no white tip, there's no free edge, it's all just like nail plate to the very end. And that's where we're starting. So that's our beginning of spring, of transitioning out of winter into the season. What we really want to focus on is the transition points and how that is normal. And while we all get super frustrated in those points, it's also part of the process, the natural process. This is how our nails work of after we get to this point in free edge, we're in a certain season of our life. And eventually these cells that are dead are going to die and they're going to break and chip and do all of the annoying things that we're going to work against. And at the same time, we still have things going on for your next spring. So we want to help you guys focus on spring and what that looks like.
Just like, I think you were talking about branches before that.
Yep.
Free edge is just out there. It's exposed. It's banging into all kinds of things. And so they're going to break sometimes.
And so really what we're looking at in these images too is the core, the root of the tree or the base of your nail where all of the production of cells goes on. This is an important part to help us keep grounded in our perspective of where am I now? And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a failure and life is terrible and everything's going to explode. It's just you're in a different season of your life. So you start out winter, you get branches, you get flowers. It's beautiful. Spring is a lovely time. It's also kind of annoying because everybody's allergies are going and all that stuff. We move to summer and the leaves get like the big, beautiful leaves and all the trees are filled out. And like this year, driving around with my kids on the island, they're like, oh my gosh, the trees look so good when they're not naked. So it's like the trees are no longer naked. It's like, this is naked. And then we get to summer, it's like, oh my gosh, we got apples on the trees, we got pears, the pears are going mad with all of the bounty that's going on. It's just beautiful and healthy. And this is, I would guess, what all of us really want. We want to keep summer going forever. 5 o'clock summer, whatever you want to say. This is the magic zone. And then we get to fall, and fall is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love fall. And fall leaves the winter, you guys. So as your nail bed leaves the nail plate and you have all of this free edge, the longer the free edge gets.
Okay, I'm going to correct you.
What did I say?
You got it backwards.
Okay.
Your nail plate leaves the nail bed.
Oh, yep, that. Your nail, yep. It's been a long day. So your nail plate leaves the nail bed, and as soon as you leave the bed, that's when crap happens. It's like every day in life, right? It's like, I'll be fine as long as I just stay in bed, and as soon as you get out of bed, that's when crap happens.
In bed where it's all
like your kid comes to you, is like, Mom, I think I have pink eye. I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you I needed snacks for class today. Like, just don't get out of bed.
Exactly.
That's where you have to get creative. And it's kind of the same thing with your nails. As soon as it leaves the bed, you gotta get creative to keep everybody safe. So, like thinking of a tree, after it's produced its fruit, it's done. It's finished that biological purpose, and then the leaves start dehydrating. The roots of the tree and the trunk of the tree starts producing less chlorophyll.
There we go.
Chlorophyll, so that the leaves start losing their color. They start changing all the beautiful colors that we love, and then they dry out and they fall off. Here, this is also part of fall. So we have the beautiful part of fall, and we also have the there it goes, goodbye, part of fall where things start breaking and they fall off and they crumble and they die and they go back to the earth. And part of this process, as all of those things go back into nature, it helps to replenish the rest of this. So if you look at this is kind of a hibernation, regeneration, refurbishing period where it's like, okay, the leaves start falling off and then things kind of get really crappy. It's like they break at different lengths and like, do I cut them all? Do I try and preserve a couple? It's like, what season am I actually in? What actually makes sense for me, for my lifestyle, for what's going on in the world, for whatever else it is? Should I just call it or should I preserve it? Like I'm sure everybody has taken beautiful leaves and pressed them with an iron between two sheets of wax paper. So you have the red and the orange and everything, and you can preserve fall a little bit longer and hang it in your window and it's beautiful. Sure, there are things to extend the life of this nail structure, and this is Christina right here, to take you to the next. And honestly, if we actually look at the calendar of what's coming next, it's like we got winter coming, y'all. It's like, are you ready to do all of this extra crazy effort, like arts and crafts and stuff, like silk nail wraps, like falsies, like all of the other things that we do to help extend the life of these nails? What's worth it to you with where you are in your life right now? And as you continue to extend it just a little bit longer, you're also at risk for these big painful ones.
Yeah. Unless you manage the length.
Manage the length, continue to hydrate your nails so it maintains flexibility, and we'll get into all of this more later, so that you can continue it on. But at some point, those dead nail cells, you're gonna have to start over. And what we really want to focus on here is that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to start over. And it's okay to look at it in a way of spring. Like, how awesome is spring unless you have massive allergies and you suffer and sneeze and snot and tear? Like, spring is awesome because it means new life and new growth and new all of these things. So that's what we're trying to normalize. So let's look at the seasons of nail length. Anna, do you want to take it?
Yeah. So these are not all me.
Nope.
Because I don't.
Three.
I've never been ground zero, so I don't know who volunteered. You'll know.
We have one of the gals in that started, one of our first people in the nail by pick group.
That's awesome. So thank you for that. And then I think the nubbins.
That's
Brittany, and then day 1 through day 111 is me. Kind of, so I'll skip forward. That day 1 of me shorties, that was before we started our company and I started using our nail oil. That's how long I could get them. I couldn't get them much longer than that. So, but anyway, so with ground zero, that's when you're starting at that's
so like here you can see it's taken below the nail bed. This is exposed nail bed. This will be very painful. It's not going to feel good as you go through and like zip up your jeans and grab stuff in your purse. This is going to hurt.
It's going to be really sensitive.
Yep. It's going to be super sensitive.
So the nubbins, and there's some kind of, there seems to be
there's
like
a little bit of free edge right here, but we're going to count it.
You've really got nothing.
Nothing.
There's no free edge that you can see, but they may look very short and healthy. So you can be there and they look very, very healthy. So there is that. Shorties, you got a little bit of free edge, but it's a struggle. I would say that my ring finger is probably a better, more accurate shorties. Okay, and then getting into the medium length and then long. And so actually you can look at these and sort of, people have an idea of what's aesthetically pleasing. And so for me, actually looking at my nails, I actually think that I like them the best at medium.
Yeah.
And even between shorties and
rule of thirds. Like you can see it, rule of thirds.
It really is. For me, so like the long is my free edge equals the length of my my nail bed.
Yep.
And I felt like that was getting too long. But this is just my impression of what I think is appropriate. And I've always felt that nails look really nice if you can get them this long, between a quarter and half of your nail bed. So you take a look at your own nail bed and use that as your ruler.
And so those of us with much shorter nail beds, we don't need as much actual length to make it look good.
Right.
So, okay. So these are the seasons of nail length and the different lengths.